Alright guys, so today I got some very special Terry tech for you guys. I was scoping around a little bit of the Terry Discord pretty recently, trying to find some solutions to a pretty common issue I've been having when playing an Ultimate Master with Terry. Now, a lot of people probably don't realize at lower ranks when you go for this fire kick or something like that, your option usually, even if it doesn't hit, you're like, oh, well, it's a, it's like a low forward, so my option is going to be to drive rush after, right? And I think for a lot of ranks in this game, you can really get away with that. But the information has definitely been getting out there that this is definitely punishable. And one of the easiest ways to punish it, if people are perfectly fine with spending the meter, which I have found to be absolutely the case more times than not, they will punish it with an OD reversal. Now, if they don't have an OD reversal, obviously there are some other options they could possibly do that are a little bit more specific, but this is mainly tech to counter those most popular characters that use tech like this, because if you get to a certain rank with Terry, you're going to run into this a lot. Now, before I get too deep into this tech, I want to say that I did not figure this out on my own. I'm going to put the guy's link. We have the main labber for the Terry Discord. You can find him on the Fighter Center and also in the Terry Discord, which I'll put a link for both of those down in the description. His name up here right now, which is Suzaku the Red. Now, he has been one of the go-to Terry labbers, and I'm sure you guys have heard of him if you guys have been labbing Terry tech long enough and you have been playing the character. He has been killing it with sharing the information with plenty of players, including myself, which I have helped to learn from his information and labbing. So yeah, this tech specifically today I've learned from checking out his information in the Terry Discord. So all right, now the first piece of advice I have for this is honestly something that he mentioned that I completely agree with, which is that I generally don't think that going for this full target combo, not hit confirming it at least, and just going for the full thing every time is not really a habit you want to do, especially because there's not really very many real options. Like all of this stuff is pretty punishable and not real for the most part. Like obviously there's very specific interactions and situations that if the opponent's not ready, you can get away with some stuff like this, power charge, some fake stuff, right? I see a lot of people doing quick burn because at most you're like -5, but you can still lose a lot of damage and be put in the corner from that situation. So I find that you're better off not making a habit of always committing into the full target combo here, and instead maybe going for one hit and checking if it's hit or not, and practicing your hit confirms, learning if the timing at least that you can confirm off of this into the target combo, so that when it does hit low, you are able to go into the full thing and not have to spend bar in the first place. The main situation I find this to be useful is primarily in spacing traps. It's a lot easier to hit confirm certain things, so stuff like this. So obviously in that situation, it feels like a lot easier to know if it's gonna work or not. So I think waiting for whiff punishes, or like I just showed there, primarily like in more obvious situations like spacing traps, when you can see the normal come out that you're waiting for, it's a lot easier to hit confirm in my opinion. So I would say first habit about this tech is to absolutely not make it a habit. Now, to move past that, let's say that you have put yourself in a situation where you already committed to this option, and that absolutely happens. I do it all the time. Sometimes you just want a low forward drive rush, but you're also like, yeah, but fire kick would be great if it does hit, so you do commit, right? It's pretty common. I think it happens. So the tech today that we're talking about is if you get yourself in this situation where you feel like you need to go for low forward, obviously target combo into drive rush. Now, the thing that you're going to run into, in my opinion, that will stop you the most once people have learned about this is they will learn that if you try to drive rush here, even go into a light or just like block, like honestly, if they are willing to spend bar, obviously they can get away with an OD reversal there. Now, I'm literally drive rushing up and blocking, and it doesn't matter. There's no time for anything there. You just get punished, right? And that's pretty difficult, right? That's pretty hard to deal with. You could obviously do some weird tech where you could like drive rush and then like level 3 if you know they're gonna do it, but I don't recommend this. It just seems way too risky. You're spending 3 bar for an option that then after you do the 3 bar, they just get to do again if you decide to go for fire kick drive rush again. So yeah, I don't really find this to be a good answer. Now, what Suzaku mentioned in the Discord, which I found to be really useful, is the idea that if you are aware that the opponent is going to go for this option, which means if you're fighting someone that you fought before, or you have learned from fighting them in the last round or the last interaction, they provided you the information by actually doing the answer, the actual option select. So for instance, let's say that you just saw them do this, where they punish you, then I would say this is when you want to start presenting this option, which is to attempt to bait it out by, instead of drive rushing here, you're just going to want to go into DI. Now the reason why this is pretty good is because obviously you have the armor on the DI right there, so that health is going to heal back eventually. And on top of that, you have just enough time after your DI here where you can punish the road reversal. Right? This is pretty useful. And obviously I showed Sagat right here. He has one of the most high committal DPs in the game. But let's go for something a little bit more less committal. Look at that, even on Terry's. Get a little punish there. Push him down to the corner. Wherever you are on the screen, obviously you'll want to optimize your punish depending on where you are. But obviously, yeah, it leaves you a lot of time to punish. I mean, I just got a heavy punch starter, full conversion, so yeah, it's super useful. Now obviously this is not the end all be all, because let's say that the opponent notices the first or two times that you do this. Mainly I would say after like the first time they're probably going to be aware of this option. Let's say you do this again, let's be real, if they're a strong enough player and they're good enough at adjusting, they are not going to go for this option again, right? They're going to see the DI and be like, oh, that's interesting, he did that. If they're aware of it, of course. Then I think your option is going to be to do something that would allow you to bait out the DI. So for instance, I think if the opponent is shown and they've proven that they're aware that you're going to go for DI in this situation, I think you're a little bit more safe to start going for your drive rush personally. And you can even try to punish their DI. Let's say that you've completely tricked them with this situation. I'm going to show you a few of the different things that you can do. Obviously, you can go for a few hits and DI them back. Alright? Let's say you don't have meter though and you need a punish. You just spend it all on your drive rush, right? Then maybe your best option is to try to do a bunch of little hits so you can get them out of DI. And this is the conversion you can go for with that. So yeah, this is obviously very specific tech where it's all about being aware of your opponent adjusting to you. It's a huge mental game tech that I think is not like an immediate answer or fix to dealing with this situation, but I do think it's incredibly useful just knowing that it's there as an option that you can use. And I think it adds an extra mind game that you can play with the opponent as well, where you start checking how much they're actually paying attention to your options, how much they're willing to adjust, which is more information that you're going to want in this game, because obviously your goal is to adjust to your opponent and find out how much they're able to adjust, right? That's the whole game once you get to a certain level. So adding more options like this that I think are giving you more information as well about how much the opponent is actually paying attention really does help in the long run. And yeah, I genuinely think this is going to be some pretty useful tech. Hopefully it helped you guys out. Definitely can see myself implementing this a little bit more into my game plan and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically it today. Definitely check out the Terry Discord, and we have a Discord as well. I'll put all the links down below, as well as Fighter Center, which is an amazing site that's going to have a ton of Terry information and just information for every character in the game out there, which also has yours truly on it. So definitely check it out. And yeah, that's going to be it for me today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out of here. Peace.